Hey everyone, welcome back to another AWS video. We've just released our brand new Ultimate Guide to Growth for 2023. Each year we put out a bit of an online guide with our best practices for the new year. You know, what we've seen worked over the last year and what we predict is going to work better over the new year. With new technologies evolving, new ideas, more people using communities, new tools, all those things. We put them all into kind of a guide and we release it each year. This year, we've decided to go bigger than ever. It includes things, getting started with your community, paid growth, extra resources, places you can go to learn more. While we call it the Ultimate Guide to Growth, there's still a lot missing from it. I would have liked to include a lot more, but then it would have been too long of a blog post. In this video, I'm essentially going to go over the main parts of it, different types of growth, how to get your community set up for growth, analytics, tracking, and I kind of want to give a brief overview of the online community sector or space. During COVID, we had a lot of people using online communities, People couldn't interact with others anymore in person. They couldn't go outside. What do you do then? Humans are conditioned for social contact. We like being able to talk to people. Where do we go for that instead? Well, that's where online communities came in. Online communities are essentially in-person communities, but in a virtual environment. In person, you're very much limited to who's there, whereas in an online environment, you can meet people from across the world. You can make friendships that are long distance. So online communities really had their place in COVID. People worked out, if I have a particular interest, I can find people that are very, very similar interests to me, and we can hook up kind of thing. But as kind of COVID came to an end, there's been a bit of a downturn. So people are prioritizing hanging out in person a bit more. But I do believe that communities will start to find their place as more businesses especially start to bring them on and a lot more communities start to exist as people find it's easier to hang out in a virtual environment. So with a bit of the history of communities gone, now we're kind of look at getting started with your community and how can you get your service or community set up for growth. This article has been made for Discord community specifically, but it can still be applied to a wide range of communities. So to start off with, we're going to be talking about unique ideas. So this is going to be one of the main points really. I want to say one of the number one reasons communities end up failing. It's because they don't have a unique idea. I see so many servers titled gaming server, general community server, emoji server. There's so much competition in that field and you're never going to be able to set yourself apart unless you have a massive marketing budget. So you need to build a unique kind of community. You need to build something that hasn't really been done before. If it has, it hasn't been really developed or looked into as much as you'd like. Think about an interest. Think about maybe a TV show you like, a specific game you like. Don't make a general gaming server. Maybe it could be a certain book series, something like that. Do it something you're passionate about. Don't just do a general community server because there's nothing really community about a general community server. You gotta have something to discuss. You gotta have a reason for people to join. The general community servers just don't work. And so many servers fail just because of this. They don't have a unique idea. People are like, why should I join this community? It doesn't offer anything different from all the other community servers. I want to join a community that's actually going to bring value to me and actually going to, give me something to take away from it. And I'm going to be able to interact with people who are actually interested in talking to me and not just want to have, hi, how you going kind of thing. Have a real deep conversation. Next up, capable staff team. Make sure you got a staff team in there, so moderators who can actually look after the community while you're not there before you start advertising it. Once you start getting people in the community, you need to keep it a safe place. You can't have people just doing whatever they feel like, and you can't have people, going off and breaking the rules, swearing, things like that, just creating an unsafe environment for the community. Make sure you have a good staff team in place. The staff team as well is also there to engage the community. So they're there to, encourage conversation, get people to talk, welcome new members, because there's a lot of communities I see, they expect the members to do all the talking when they first join. But if no one's talking in the first place, no one's going to, randomly start a conversation, or it's highly unlikely that's actually going to happen. You have to make sure, your staff are trying to start conversations, encouraging members to talk and engaging the chat in general. Next point is make sure you have an awesome community layout. There's nothing worse than coming to a community that looks like a disaster. You have no idea how anything in that community works. If a server or community is disorganized, it's going to be really, really hard for a new member to work their way around. So it's really, really important to do testing, make use of tools such as Discord's new community onboarding if you have over 5,000 members. Otherwise, use their standard tools such as their rule screening. Make sure you have a good welcome channel. A lot of communities don't have a welcome channel. They have a channel with the rules and that's it. There's nothing about the actual server. So I think, laying out information about what the actual server is about, how it works, what different channels are for is really, really important. And it just helps new members work their way around the community. Make sure you as well, you have an introduce yourself channel near the top of the server. That's always a great way to activate new members and encourage them to, introduce a bit of themselves and talk in the community. Because a member who introduces themselves is more likely to feel welcome to the community and they're going to be more likely to engage in the actual community itself. Last but not least, make sure you have an advertisement. An advertisement is essentially, or a copy in the marketing field. Your advertisement / copy, it's what you're going to promote with. So when you go to a place to promote, it's what you paste. Your advertisement really needs to stand out and it needs to highlight your unique features of the community. What makes it unique? What particular interest of mine is going to make me want to join this community? So, if it's a Star Wars server, it's like, you can have Star Wars themed bots, Star Wars themed events, Star Wars themed whatever. Giveaways, for example, Star Wars themed giveaways. Don't just say giveaways. Make sure you actually theme the giveaways because otherwise what's the point? Make sure there's a bit about your community there, what makes it unique. Make sure there's a title. Put some features in listing, and emotes is always good as well. And a banner as well, if you can put one in, is a great way to just kind of showcase a bit more of the creative side, because in an advertisement you can only use so much markup in it, so it's always good to include a banner if you can. We actually have a tutorial which is actually linked in the guide, which is actually linked below as well, on how to make an advertisement. Now we're going to start looking at free growth, and these are basically growth methods that are free. They will be slower and they will take a bit more hands-on effort. They're still a great way to grow your community. First up, we have listing sites. When I speak to clients or members in general, people ask me, what are listing sites? And my default answer is they're the search engines of Discord. So it's a bit like when you use Google to find a website, listing sites to help you find Discord servers. And they really set aside good servers from bad servers as well. Discord discovery does have requirements, which these websites generally don't have requirements. There's a few good sites you can use, such as TopGG, Discords.com. Discord me is one of my favorite. Discord.org is a great one. And also our own, which is DiscordExpert.com. It's vital to set up your server on as many different lists as possible. In the guide, we've actually got a whole list of them, which you should definitely put your server on. Make sure you use all the keywords you can and tags, because that's how people will find your community. Make sure as well that a lot of these sites have have bumping or a vote system. So this essentially means that in order to verify the listings, to make sure that the communities are active, they make you run a command, visit a website, click a button every 6, 12 or so hours. Every time you click it, you get a point. Sometimes those points reset, sometimes there is no point system. Essentially, it tells the website to rank your server high depending on how many times you bumped, how often you bump, how many points you have, etc, etc. So make sure you take the time to bump your server, and you take the time to make sure it stands out at the top. We do offer a listing optimization service, which essentially where we'll set up all your listing sites for you, and we'll make sure they're optimized for good growth. Next up, social media. So social media is a great way to find new members. It does require a bit more interaction though, compared to listing sites where you have to actually go in, retweet, post, comment on people like stuff. Set up an Instagram, TikTok, Twitter account, whatever you think is necessary, and wherever your ideal target member is. So if if it's a professional kind of community of practice, which is a community that is focused around a particular profession, such as digital marketing, graphic design, you're going to be maybe looking at something like LinkedIn, where the professionals hang out. So set up some accounts on these sites and start posting interesting content, maybe some memes, funny things, infographics, anything that's likely to encourage the member to join your community. That's always helpful. Remember to comment on other people's posts, and also to integrate the community into Discord itself. We actually have a whole online course on this, which is actually linked in the guide. Be sure to check it out. It's free and it's only about an hour long. Similar to social media, networking is a great way to grow your online community. Networking is essentially where you kind of talk to other professionals, talk to other kind of community people one-on-one, and you essentially build up relationships. Then you might invite them to your community, they might invite you to their community, and you kind of share advice and things like that. If you build up, because community building is really about those one-on-one contacts as well as the big kind of group aspect. Be sure to talk to other people, DM them on Twitter, Instagram if they look interested, and kind of build up a rapport. Maybe invite them to your community, or ask if they want to join your community, or if they have a community that you might be interested in joining. I've met so many people through networking. It's been really great to build up my knowledge and build up my skill, as well as meet some awesome people who've done awesome things. Next up, we have partnerships. So partnerships are essentially communities sharing their community with other communities and vice versa. It's basically kind of sharing members. So don't run a general gaming server, but for example, if I run a gaming server and this person runs a gaming server, I might say, hey, want to partner? And we'll post each other's ad on our own community. And we're basically essentially sharing members this way, and we're finding new members who may have not heard of our community and may be interested in joining our community. We have a tutorial down on the actual blog post itself on how to actually build up a partnership system and how to start partnering with people. Finally, in the free section, we have advertising. So this is kind of what we're entirely built around. Advertise your community, do it consistently, pick categories that actually match your community. There's many different Discord servers to advertise your own on. Make sure to check those out. Essentially, you just go to a channel, you post your advertisement, post your banner there as well as you have it, and make sure you post as much as possible within the rules, of course. Make sure you post consistently, but don't spam, and do it regularly to see optimal growth. Don't forget as well to use Discord server discovery if you meet the requirements. It's really a great way to get listed on Discord, and there's not a lot of maintenance you really have to do to it. Next up, we have paid growth. So this is looking at more businesses and people who want to spend money to grow their community and kind of get it off the ground a bit more. This is a lot more hands-off, costly, but it's faster as well. Don't worry if you can't afford this though, the free methods work just as well. So when we're purchasing paid services like this, we need to be careful that we're not getting scammed, or we're buying inorganic kind of growth. We really want to focus on organic growth, because if we're just botting the server, or we're just getting people who aren't interested, well, they're going to be in the server, but they're not going to talk, and they're not going to bring value to the community. Community is about bringing value, and if we're not, well, there's no point in just botting your server to get a high member count, because we can still see the online count and we can still look at how many messages sent. So it's really easy to see a botted server. So back to listing sites. A lot of listing sites have premium options where you can get listed higher on the site. You can get more bump points when you bump. You can have a special feature such as more keywords. You have pop-ups, listing, things like that. Be sure to check out those. I know Discords.com, Discords Me offers it, Discord Expert offers it. A lot of the websites fund the actual website and the hosting and stuff will offer paid promotions, so be sure to check those out. Advertising plans as well are quite a good way, because essentially it's advertising, but it's done for you. So people will go through other Discord servers and advertise your server for you, and essentially they'll post it a certain amount of times a week in communities that are similar to yours, and that's a good way to grow your community. Partnerships generally only they work with community-based servers and not corporations. Corporations don't want to partner with each other generally because they don't want to share the marketing power with each other. Fiverr as well, you can get some good services on Fiverr, but just be careful though. A lot of them are inorganic, for example botting. A lot of them break the terms of services. There's a lot of DM advertising services or mass DM, those break the service. They're a pretty bad user experience, so people aren't going to be too keen to join the community if you go doing that. On to growth services. So for example, listing optimization, as I said before, that's something we offer. That's basically where we'll set up all the listing sites for you and make sure they're optimized so you rank high on the site as well as on Google. If a user searches for a keyword related to a server, you come up near the top. So CPM bidding, also auctions. So CPM stands for cost per 1,000 impressions, not million. So the one site that offers this is TopGG with their auction system, and basically you bid on a slot with other people, and if you win that slot, you'll get promoted at the top of that slot in the promoted field for the amount of impressions you've bidded for. This can also be used on platforms like TikTok, Google Ads, Instagram ads, wherever your target audience is. I suggest you check out the advertising services on platforms like these. Finally, we have consulting, course and learning. So it's always important when you're building communities, not just spend money on it, but also up your own skills and kind of work out what's going to work for you. So consulting, for example, we do consulting with communities and businesses. What's going to be the best way to grow this specific community? Because remember, each community is different and it's, in its own way, they all work very differently. So we'll talk to them about issues they might have, how to grow their community, create a specific action plan tailored to their community. Remember to look at online courses as well, such as our learn.aos.gg. Commerce as well has great online courses, and HubSpot Academy is a great place to learn general marketing because it's always good to invest in yourself. We haven't spoken a lot about analytics, but there are some good tools in the blog such as Statbot, Threado, Community, Common Room, Discord Insights, just in order to help grow your community and look at the statistics about where members are coming from, if they're engaging, so on and so forth. But we'll look into that in another video and blog post. It's important as well to continuously experiment with what's going to work for you. Make sure that you build up your skills and you consistently try new growth approaches if one's not working, or swap it out for something else. Try and say what works, and if something works, multiply it. We have a whole bunch of helpful resources. Check them out in the blog post which is below. And in summary, this has been one of our longer form contents. We haven't really done a blog post this long before, but I thought we may as well write a long form post. So it was really fun to write. If you have any feedback as well, remember to comment it down below. Shoot me an email, will@aos.gg, and I hope you enjoyed this blog post. Like and subscribe to get more content, and we'll see you in the next one.